it becomes exponentially more difficult to sell anything.
So what you're saying is it's actually not wise or healthy to disagree with anybody. Basically, you can't disagree with the masses, because if not, you may stand out for all the wrong reasons.
Correct.
And that may affect your reputation.
Correct. And the masses, very beautifully put, Alexia, and the masses are controlled by the media. And the media have only one vested interest.
Themselves.
Is that to report on the truth?
No.
No. But the freedom of speech, isn't that about finding the truth?
I remember when I arrived I'll say very quickly, when I arrived to England from the Czech Republic to actually work here, and I'll say quickly because I think we're going to wrap up soon, and I remember watching the news, and I hadn't watched it for 5 years, and I forgot the phenomena that is not just in Britain, but it's all over the world, but it's in fact quite unbelievable, about creating their own news. So you have an employee of the BBC interviewing another employee who's supposed to be a subject matter expert in that field, whether it be politics or media or whatever. So it's like me being in the canteen with you at work and going, so what are your thoughts on this? Well, I believe, yes, you're right, and I'll give you a few facts about it to back up the argument. Thank you, said colleague. Thank you very much for backing up my argument. There we go. We've just created our own news. Isn't that marvellous? So it's two people who've got the same opinion projected to 5 million people across the land. And that's news. No, it's not. They've just created it.
But you see, that one of the basis that this kind of thing is allowed is, unfortunately, even our modern legal system. So, for instance, civil law, you have a judge who sits and looks at the body of evidence, and if you read the summary, I forget the proper term of it, of a judge in a civil case, it's really obvious that his decision could have gone one way or the other, and you can see that he's struggling, and then boop, he comes to a decision, and then he has to back up his decision, and then he spends the rest of his judgment actually making himself appeal proof.
I watched somebody called Jerry Seinfeld, a very well-known comedian, and he does something on Netflix which I find amazing and very, very funny. And his comment was, and I believe most comedians are quite intelligent people, yeah? And he's one of the top ones, you know. His material worth is irrelevant. The fact he's worth $1 billion is irrelevant as a comedian, but he's a very, very funny guy, and very bright guy. And he was talking to Eddie Murphy in one of his 20-minute comedians in cars having coffees. And he said, we can argue anything on either side. That's, if you're intelligent and you can put a few words together, like you're saying about the judge, you can argue on either side. And this is what the government have been doing for the last 9 months.
And his own bias and even mood will influence the side he goes on. And therefore, if you talk to any solicitor, they will run a mile if they personally if they're personally threatened with going to court, and they will agree that the law is nothing about the truth and justice. It's simply about a way of resolving conflict so life can go on. On that basis, let's end for today. We've got a lot more to talk about cognitive dissonance.
We do.
And we look forward to seeing you very soon. And
Thank you for
hopefully
listening.
Next week with Andy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.